The full release of FM19 is out, but because we live in a world of YouTube where time is not important, we're still playing on the beta. Hello there everyone, welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of Conquering the Euro with Liverpool, and today we play against Paris Saint-Germain at home in the Champions League, and then we go to, oh no, we're at home again in 3 days time, so a really quick turnaround for a game against league leaders Arsenal. Now, technically league leaders, but they're very close to Tottenham. Their rivals, because they're on exactly the same goal difference. So shall we have a look what's happened since you have last been with me? Now, we're still unbeaten, and we've only played a few games since you've last been with me. Of course, those two that we played last time out were Leipzig and Manchester City. But after that, we've won in the League Cup third round against our former player, Danny Ings. And we won that one quite comprehensively 3-0. Mario Balotelli got the first goal. He started the game. Naby Keita and Chamberlain finished off a very pleasing performance to make it 3-0. And then we've just played Aston Villa, obviously newly promoted Aston Villa after a few years in the Championship. Joe Gomez got our only goal of the day, and actually Scott Hogan managed to get a goal back for the Villa, and unfortunately we just couldn't get anything. So that's another 2 points dropped, and it seems we're a little bit of the draw specialist so far this season. We've had 4 draws and 3 wins. Amazingly, in the whole of the last campaign, we only had 6 draws. So we're already nearly at that 6 mark, but hopefully we can turn most of those draws into wins. But to be fair, 2 of those draws have come already against Manchester City and Chelsea. And hopefully we don't get another draw against Arsenal today. But just an apology before we get into the PSG game. You might notice that my voice is incredibly croaky. Again, I don't understand where this has come from. I've technically had my cold and cough for the year. But it seems the cough's back and I might have to take frequent breaks. So there might be a bit of cutting and choppiness. I really apologise for that. But there's not a whole hell of a lot that I can do. But for today's game against PSG, the first game of the episode, we go with a very similar team to the usual. The back 4 is the same as it is always. Obviously, Robertson's out for a few months, and Moreno has to fit in on that left-back position. Then, again, the midfield is very similar with Keita, Wijnaldum and Henderson. Salah and Gnabry are our attacking midfielders today, with Roberto Firmino up front. Just checking there's nobody not in there that should be. I'm not all that happy with that, so let's get into it, shall we? Now, obviously, our Champions League campaign started off really well. We absolutely battered RB Leipzig, but I don't see the same happening against PSG today. PSG, one of the best teams in the world. They've got some fantastic strikers, obviously, notably Neymar and Mbappe, but they've got some incredible players across the pitch. It seems Mbappe's not playing today. He might have moved elsewhere. Should we have a look where Mbappe is? Because that seems a bit odd that he's not there. Can we get on? Yeah, we can get on Alisson. If we search for Mbappe, he might be injured or he might have gone somewhere else. No, he's a PSG, but he's out for the next 9 days to 3 weeks. So we've got a bit lucky there, but Marcel Sabitzer, formerly of Leipzig, plays and he's a very capable player. And they've got a very solid squad with Cavani up front today, with Neymar on the left wing. But to be honest, I reckon that we can go toe-to-toe with PSG and possibly come out at home anyway with a win. And I think taking points off PSG is going to be crucial in this Champions League group. To try, yeah, there we go. Kylian Mbappe, yeah, it definitely makes things easy for us. Getting points in both games against PSG, maybe getting a win today, maybe cancelling out. As long as PSG don't beat us in terms of points, we've got a very strong chance of being the top of the group. Because it seems that after that last game that Leipzig don't offer us particularly any challenge after we beat them 5-1 away from home. And again, although Valencia are a good team, of course, we're in the Champions League, every team are a good team, but also with Valencia, I don't see them being a massive challenge, so we should be able to beat Valencia and Leipzig, and it's all about whether we can gain points from the mighty Paris Saint-Germain, just to make sure that we get top of this group. Now, of course, we could be managing PSG one day in this series. We're not just in England, in Conquering the Euro, we do go to 5 or maybe even 6 or 7 European nations if it doesn't work in a few, including England. And that's an early goal for PSG, which isn't too fantastic for us. But we could be managing any of these teams in the Champions League one day. I do fancy going to Portugal next. It seems like somewhere I fancy going. But at the end of the day, it's all going to depend on where the jobs are. But of course, as I've said before, I think with Liverpool, we're going to make it at least a 3-season affair. If we win the league this year, we're going to stay for another season. But I think we can either win the league this year or next year. I'm fairly confident. But if we keep drawing, that's going to slip away from us fairly quickly. But we're playing some nice passing move football. It's very nice. But we need to keep the ball. Gnabry, he's lost the ball to Ndidi. And see, this isn't the best way of playing because Moreno's just lost Sabitzer. But to be fair, Moreno's won the challenge. It's absolutely fantastic. A dangerous one with a slide tackle from behind, albeit. Hopefully Van Dijk doesn't muck this one up. Oh, that's dangerous. It's straight to Alisson. But luckily he clears it. And it's okay. Keita gets to Salah. We've got a bit of a counter cap going on here. Salah one-on-one. But Keylor Navas saves that one with relative ease. Now, if we lose against PSG, it's not the end of the world because at the end of the day, are we at a level of PSG? Possibly not. We should really be competing with these teams. because we can compete with anyone. But I do think that possibly if we lose against PSG, it's not the end of the world. But of course, that would mark an end to our unbeaten start. But let's face it, we're not going to go unbeaten in every competition because A, it would be boring for the series. I've spoke to a few people and, you know, Foot Manager series are a bit boring if you're just winning all the time and etc, because it takes the challenge out of it. But nonetheless, look at Brighton, top of their Group D. Of course, Brighton finishing 4th last year. It was a crazy situation where Chris Hughton guided his team to 4th. And they got through the Champions League, the qualifying stages. And they're in a group with Lyon, Spartak Moscow and Ajax. And amazingly, they are top of that at the moment. The same can't be said for us, however. We're only 15 minutes in here. And it seems that PSG have had a hell of a lot of chances. Serge Gnabry's injured. That's an unfortunate one. Well, I think we'll bring Shaqiri on, not Trincao, because Trincao's a bit of a younger player. And I think, to be fair, that possibly Shaqiri will moan if he doesn't get enough play time. By the way, I do hate these new stars. I think they look stupid on the most recent FM update. And at the end of the day, you know, I'm recording this a few days before the FM release, so they might change that when the full game comes out by the time this is out. But I thought it doesn't really matter particularly if we're playing the full game or the beta. There might be a few changes, but nothing too radical. So I think possibly by Sunday or Monday's episode, we will be playing on the full game. But I'm guessing you guys probably won't even notice. But I don't know, there could be a few features that I'm not aware of, possibly. But at the end of the day, it's still the same game. And Sports Interactive, as ever, have done a very good job with this year's release. Very nearly a good ball, actually, from Salah to Firmino. But now it's right back in the PSG possession. But luckily, Moreno wins it back. And we've got the ball with a feet to Salah. Lovely ball through to Firmino. It doesn't quite work out. We've got a second chance here. Salah in the box, and he shoots, and it's in. And I'll tell you what, that was quite poor by the PSG goalkeeper. We're going to get cautious because I do think that PSG are dominating us. And attacking doesn't work too well. But playing that counter-attacking style, as we've just shown there, that quick attacking, it seems to certainly work. And Salah, the creator and the scorer as well. Firmino's passed it to Salah. And it was quite a poor attempt at a save, really, from Navas. Not the best shot in the world from Salah, but a goal is a goal. And that is all that matters. And we're level pegging now with PSG. And hopefully that will push us on to doing something a bit more. Now, we've had 11 shots. I can't quite believe that. Because from all I've seen, PSG have dominated. But hopefully all of those shots resonate in a few goals in the next few highlights. Firmino to Salah again. Salah is through on goal, and not quite, but Keita's got it. Keita shoots. That's very close. Salah, can we have a third go? Not quite. But Alexander-Arnold picks the ball up and means that possession is back in our hands. Number 32, Dani Alves to Ndidi, a new signing from Leicester. I don't know how much they signed him for, but it must have been a hefty fee if it had gone to PSG. Jonas Hector on the left. Hopefully Salah can pick him up. It's nice to see Salah tracking back, because twice out of 2 times now, when Hector's been on that left, Salah has won the ball back. And it could possibly turn into a goal-scoring opportunity. What a ball that is from Alexander-Arnold. Through to Firmino. Oh, it's just over the bar. The service there from Alexander-Arnold was absolutely fantastic. But it didn't quite end up in a goal, which is really, really unfortunate. But we're nearly 40 minutes into this game. It seems this game's really trundling on. It seems that there's a lot of highlights, and it seems to be quite action-packed. But hopefully we end up on the right side of it, which will be brilliant. But Naby Keita's got a knock, which is a bit annoying because I did read in the last update notes that apparently the injuries were going to be refined. But somebody commented on the Sports Interactive post, which I thought was something absolutely fair enough, that at the end of the day, if you're playing a gegenpress football style, you've got to expect that you'll get the odd injury. And I think that's absolutely right. You're going to get the odd injury in football anyway. But if you're playing this high-paced gegenpress football, which some players just aren't suited to, and possibly the high training regime, you know, if players are tired and we're playing them on a high injury risk, well, you know, they could get injured. But to have 2 injuries in a game might be a little bit strong. It all depends on how bad the injuries are. But if they are really bad, I'll be particularly annoyed, because Keita and Gnabry are 2 pivotal players. Of course, Gnabry only just joining the club. But because PSG are only drawing, we are back on the top of the group. We're going to be very cheeky here. We're going to go attacking. We'll make our final substitution. We haven't put Balotelli on the bench, so we'll bring Sturridge on. Don't worry about that. The fact that Balotelli's not on the bench. We're just resting him for today after that League Cup game against Southampton and that league game against Villa. But we've gone to attacking. We've told the players we demand more. It might be a risk, but points are points, and we have to take the risk here. And Sturridge through to Shaqiri. Can we get our second? Shaqiri's in the box. He shoots, and it's paid off. The new substitute, Daniel Sturridge, puts to Shax, and Shax gets the second goal of the game. We've come back from 1-0 down. Amazingly, with less possession, with 25 shots, 14 of these on target. And to be honest, I cannot fault our attacking prowess. And in fact, really, our defensive prowess. We had a bit of a sloppy start, conceding 4 minutes in. But from then on, we haven't lost a tackle. 100% of tackles won. And that, I think, has definitely been pivotal to perhaps our second win of the Champions League campaign today. But, of course, it's not over yet. We've gone on counter-attacking. But that doesn't mean that PSG won't come and attack us now. Neymar on the ball to Bernat. Juan Bernat on the wing. Puts it into the box. He's going to go alone, actually. And Salah wings it back. But we've got a bit of a scrap in the box. Can Neymar get it? He can. It's back to Jonas Hector. They've still got the ball. I'm a bit worried here. To Verratti. Verratti on the edge of the box. Just shoot. And it's in for PSG, and it is 2-2. Very unfortunate there, but to be quite honest, they were just playing with us, I think. They were passing it all around the box, making us run like headless chickens after it, and unfortunately, we are now level pegging. But 2-2 is a very good result. We did have this in real life, actually, against PSG. Maybe it might be a similar one where we get a late goal, but it doesn't look like it. It probably will be a 2-2 draw. But a draw against PSG, obviously, is much better than a loss. But we've got our last chance here. Salah into the box. He's not going to shoot, is he? Salah, no, he's lost the ball. It's a penalty! It's a late penalty! Thiago Silva, with 4 seconds to go, has clattered down Mo Salah. And we're going to give the penalty to Salah. But I don't really think you can give it to Fabinho. Wow. Salah should... Really? He should never have given that penalty, because there's no way Salah was scoring from there. But unbelievably, we're 10 seconds over the time, and we can go and beat PSG here. Let's see what happens. Right, come on, Mo. Salah. He'll go back in just a second to take this penalty. Come on, Mo. Runs up to take the penalty. It's in! Mo Salah makes it 3-2, and we have got the 3 points against Paris Saint-Germain. What a fantastic result that is. Not just for our Champions League campaign, but for our whole season. To make a statement like that. It's been a scrappy game. But our attacking prowess, to get 32 shots against PSG and 17 of those on target is it's nowhere far from unbelievable. And we've beat PSG today, and hopefully the same happens when we go back to Anfield in a few days against the league leaders, the Gunners. We are then back at Anfield for our second game of the episode. A little bit of bad news about Serge Gnabry. He is out for between 2 to 4 weeks, but Naby Keita luckily only had a bruised ankle, but isn't going to be fit for today's game against the Gunners. So it's the same back four that played against PSG, with Fabinho and Grujic filling in for Henderson and Keita in the midfield. Vietto and Trincao start on the wings, purely because Salah is very tired after that last match. He'll probably come on a bit later on today because of how good he was against PSG. And then obviously we've got Gnabry, who is injured, and Shaqiri, who's a bit tired as well. And then we got Firmino up front again. I've just realised, by the way, that Sturridge hasn't scored a single goal. He was our top goal scorer, I believe, last year. Mind you, he's only had 2 performances, so 2 games, 1 off the bench. And possibly the introduction of Mario Balotelli might have affected Sturridge a little bit, but we're not playing Balotelli too much. Firmino's still our star striker, but we've very much got a free striker system with Sturridge, Firmino and Balotelli. At the end of the day, any of those strikers can get injured at any point, so I do feel that having that little bit more depth is going to be great. But we've been on a great run recently, so hopefully we can go and impress. This could be our... we could go... I think it's 11 games unbeaten today. Let's have a look who's playing on that left-hand side. It's Hector Bellerin. It is not... if we look at the teams... where's Arsenal? Oh, how do we do this now? Stats? Arsenal stats? There we go. That's what we want. Nathaniel Klein on the bench. Obviously, we sold Nathaniel Klein to Arsenal last season for 30 million. But he's not coming back just for today. He's a bit injured. Well, I'm guessing he's injured, but I suppose Bellerin is a very good option on that right-back position. Now, Arsenal had a terrible campaign last year in-game. They finished, I think, 14th, something absolutely ridiculous like that. It was a very topsy-turvy season for a few teams. Again, Tottenham not getting European football either, but it seems they've very much turned it round in the early start of the season. It's our job now to try and knock Arsenal off that spot, because at the end of the day, unless it's a draw today, one of our unbeaten streaks, whether that's ourselves or whether it is the Gunners, their unbeaten streak will be broken. But a lovely ball from Trincao to Firmino. Can he get it? He can't quite get there, and perhaps the creator could have ran a little bit more to try and put Cech off there. But the highlight seems to continue. Cech's got the ball. He puts it out. Can we get the ball back? Seems Van Dijk does. Very solid header there to Grujic. Lovely ball through to Vietto. Can we keep it? We absolutely can for now, but not after that. Cech out again. But Alexander-Arnold's got that one covered. We're very disciplined defensively, which is very nice to see. Grujic really commanding the play in that midfield. Lovely to see. A brilliant pass to Trincao. Over to his wing partner, Vietto. And Vietto gets his second goal in 2 games. And just a reminder that Vietto only cost us £2.1 million from Atletico Madrid, which in this day and age is an absolute bargain. We're using him as a backup player, but he seems to be filling in Mo Salah's spot very well today. And the two wingers combined at a combined price of, I think Trincao only cost about 5 million. So 7 million of greatness combining there to get it into the back of the Arsenal net. And all of a sudden, the table looks a lot better for us and a lot worse, pardon me, for Arsenal. And even this early on in the season, this game is very pivotal in terms of, I think if we win today, that really helps us to boost our chance and get a lot more confidence. But for whoever loses, I think it might just wipe the smile off their face a little bit and might just knock their confidence. A poor pass from Paulinho through to Vietto again! Oh, that was such a brilliant goal, but it's just offside. Wow, what a volley that was from our right winger, Mr. Luciano. Let's have a look at this. Unfortunately, it's in 3D. I don't quite know why. Let's go back to 2D, which is what it should be in. Oh, well, we'll just have to keep it like that for now. But, oh, was he offside? No, I don't think he was. There's Monreal. What's happening there? There's Monreal and there's two Arsenal defenders. I don't understand how that's offside. Well, that might be a dubious decision. That might come back to bite us on the bottom at the end of this game. Hopefully not. Wijnaldum out wide to Gomez. Gomez, decent ball in, but doesn't quite work out. And now Lacazette's got a counter-attacking opportunity. But hopefully we can win the ball back and make sure that's done. But Pedro's beaten Alexander-Arnold. This could be a chance for the Gunners. Pedro, a poor shot though. He could have really squared it to his striking partner, Alexander Lacazette, and try and get it in the back of the net. But it didn't quite work for him. And at half-time, through a beautiful combination of our two wingers, it is 1-0 for us to the good, which is absolutely fantastic to see. We're the only ones playing today. I think we've got the early game. We've got the early game. That's why we're the only ones playing. That's a brilliant start. And we're going to substitute Wijnaldum now because Wijnaldum seems a bit tired. We'll bring Wijnaldum off and we'll bring Lallana on. But I'm not today going to change him to an attacking midfielder because it just risks a bit more defensive frailty, which really we don't need at this point. Lallana can stay in the central midfield, play that same position, and it shouldn't be too much of a bit of a hindrance for Lallana at all. But they've got an early chance, it seems, this half. Firmino into Lucas. Lucas shoots, and Alisson gets it very solid from our goalkeeper. And again, it seems that this tactic is giving us less possession, but we're doing a whole lot with that possession. And a lot of, as long as we're winning games, I don't really care what tactic we're playing. We've been awarded a free kick. I was a bit worried that Firmino might have pushed Diaz down there, but we've got a free kick. But as long as we're winning games, we could be playing a 4-2-4 or a blooming 3-1-4-2 or a 0-0-10 for all I care. As long as we're winning games and as long as the formula works, that is all that matters. And Fabinho very nearly gets our second. And I feel like for either side, a second is very much on the cards here. It's getting closer. I just feel that there might be another goal just to upset the balance of the tie very shortly. But we haven't had a highlight for over 10 minutes now. So what we're going to do is change. We're bringing Alexander-Arnold off. He seems tired. Inevitably, it's a big schedule for these players. Playing, pretty much a game midweek and at the weekend. But luckily, we have got an international break after this. So some of the players who aren't international can have a bit of a break. But a poor one from Firmino there. But it's back into Fabinho and it's a goal. How weird was that? The two Brazilians combining. Firmino lost the ball. But Mangala made an error after, to be fair, making a brilliant tackle that could have led to possibly a counter-attacking opportunity. Let's have another look at this one. Firmino stops, Mangala gets it back, he makes another mistake, he goes back to Firmino, and Firmino has practically got not an open goal, but a very good chance. He's got the better chance against Czech, and I said that a second goal was coming, and it certainly has for the Reds, and this is a brilliant result for us. I didn't think that we would win either of our games today. I thought it's either going to be 2 draws, or even worse, and we're 3-0 up. Trincao gets his second assist of the day after a beautiful corner. And I think this one just might knock the confidence of Arsenal quite a bit. I do wonder perhaps whether they've played, I don't mean to be offensive to any Premier League team here, I wonder whether they've had actually any big games so far. Because it seems to have been torn apart here. They've played against City, but apart from that, they've all been winnable games. But saying that, they've been winning by quite a margin. But it looks like today's game, they have really been trumped by us, which is absolutely fantastic for us. It puts a lot more confidence in us and just says to the fans, really, that we're not draw specialists. We've definitely turned up today. There's no question about that. And we have done very, very well. We're going to bring Sturridge on for Firmino again because he seems... Actually, no. We'll bring Trincao off because I think that he's done very well today. He deserves a bit of a send-off, if you like. I know Salah's not great on that left wing, but for the best part of 10 minutes, it's really not going to matter. I don't think they'll score 3 in 10 minutes. But Trincao seems to have been a very good signing so far. So has Vietto, of course. Vietto getting the first goal of today's game. But a Brazilian, a what nationality is Vieto? Vieto is a Argentinian. So two South Americans and an Englishman combining to make it 3-0 to the good for us. Will it be a goal for Arsenal to get one back, or will it be domination for us? Let's have a look. A lovely ball from Grujic to Firmino. Firmino, one-on-one with check, and it's way wide. Poor stuff from Bobby Firmino there, but it doesn't match in the grand scheme. We've got quite an easy win in the end, and that should be when Moreno passes it up to the midfield. That should be it for Salah. Has got, again, another late opportunity. Quite poor defending from Arsenal there. But Mangala chucks it out to Pedro, to Ozil. The ref should be blowing the whistle fairly shortly. We've won the war. No, we haven't. Digna on the ball to Ozil, to Lucas. And I think that any time now, I keep saying any time now, it'll probably be when, as soon as we get the ball back. Bellerin, still Bellerin. And the whistle has gone full time. They've lost the ball. And that is a fantastic result. 3-0. And we've done it very, very easily. If you've enjoyed those 2 wins, make sure to leave a like on this video. I really enjoyed that, and I think that's a massive episode for our form and boosting our momentum in the Premier League and also the Champions League, of course. But if you enjoyed that, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't done already, and watch any of the videos on the end screen that's coming up here. That will be the whole playlist of Conquering the Euro this side, there. There'll be something else in all the different corners, but just feel free to go and watch another one of the videos, maybe a team guide, maybe, I think down this end, it'll probably just be here because I'm talking for so long. I'm rubbish at all these fingers, aren't I? Down this end, there'll be a recommended video just for you, based on what you've watched. And obviously, if you want to subscribe, up there, it's the channel logo. But that's probably the worst attempt at showing what the end screen does, possibly. But thank you very much for watching, folks. I'm not going to keep you anymore. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.